What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be showing you the absolute best anti-meta deck in Master Duel. This deck is a ton of fun to play, and it is really good against a huge variety of decks, and it's just kind of a really fun counter pick strategy to play, and that is Mekk-Knights. This is like a pure Mekk-Knight control deck. Mekk-Knights are pretty splashable into a lot of different types of things, but in this deck we're just playing Mekk-Knights. And so, Mekk-Knight engine with the World Legacy spells, and so, yeah, without, stalling too much, I just want to get right into it, explain the deck profile so that I can get to the replays, because you'll really get to see how this deck works by watching the replays, and I'll show you guys a couple games of just me playing it as well. Alright, so to start off, we're playing 3 of the purple Mekk-Knight. So this is basically a wind-up rabbit for you, older players, right? Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall, it can banish itself, and then it comes back during the next standby phase. But it's better than Wind Up Rabbit, because when it banishes itself, it searches. So it's basically it can search any of your other Mekk-Knights, but then because it's a quick effect to banish itself, it can dodge a lot of opponent's stuff. It's really good to bait the opponent's traps and stuff. I guess I should start by saying all the Mekk-Knights have the Mekk-Knight effect, which is if the opponent has if there's 2 or more cards in the same column, then they special summon themselves to that column. So pretty weird, interesting mechanic, but that's what makes them so fun. So Mekk-Knight Purple Nightfall, you can banish itself to search another Mekk-Knight, and a lot of time you'll be searching Blue Sky, which Blue Sky is the one that it searches another Mekk-Knight for each column in each card that the opponent has in that column. So if they put 2 cards in the same column, you get 2 searches off of it. So that's Blue Sky, and then we're playing 1 each of yellow, red, and green. So yellow can banish a Mekk-Knight from the grave to pop a spell and trap. Red can banish a Mekk-Knight to pop a face-up monster in the column. This one's also locked to the column, and this one, if it attacks a monster in the column, it can add a Mekk-Knight from the grave to the hand. These are kind of like your utility. This one's for recovery, this one's for popping spells and traps, this one's for popping monsters, and then the most important one is Indigo Eclipse, which can actually move a Mekk-Knight to another column. Why is that important? We'll see in a sec. Just to finish off the monsters, we got 1 Girsu the Orcus Mekk-Knight. This is your normal summon. This is the best card ever. In Master Duel, this card's limited to 1, which it's a 3 in the TCG, so it's going to send a World Legacy card from the deck to the grave. So that's a really good Ash bait, and then it's going to special summon 2 tokens. You can put the tokens wherever you want, so you're going to put the token to your opponent's field so you can get the column, right? Girsu the Orcus Mekk-Knight, also a lot of times we're going to be banishing it using either this one or this one so that we can add it back to our hand with the World Legacy key. And then also we can add it back to our hand with Green Horizon. So because we only have 1 of these, we do want to use it multiple times in a turn. So that's kind of the reason that we're playing a lot of recovery type stuff, so that we can just make sure we get the most out of our Mekk-Knights, Okay. So that's it for the monsters. I should just get to the World Legacy spells and traps, and then I'll get into the other random stuff that we're playing. So the World Legacy stuff, the most important one is World Legacy Secret. We're playing 3 of these. This is skill drain for the column that a Mekk-Knight is in. So anything, and it's also Call the Haunted. So it brings back a Mekk-Knight, a level 5 or higher monster from the grave, but usually a Mekk-Knight. And if it's in the same column as an opponent's monster, that monster has its effects negated, right? So this is kind of why it's so important to be able to move columns with Indigo Eclipse, because they can activate something. Chainlink 2, we use Indigo Eclipse and move a Mekk-Knight to the same column as what they used, and then their effect will be negated because of the continuous trap. Now, World Legacy Whispers is the exact same thing, but for spells, so we can negate the spells, anything in a column as a Mekk-Knight, and Key is the same thing, but for traps. So we can actually negate any on-field effect that is in the same column as a Mekk-Knight that we control. So we play 1 each of the ones that negate spells and traps, and then 3 of the things that negate monsters. Because these can sometimes be bricks, depending on the matchup. Sometimes, maybe against Sky Strikers, I wish I had 2 of these, or against Eldritch, I wish I had 2 of these. But in the long run, it's not really worth it. We'll be able to outgrind them even if we don't always have access to this. They're here to they're blowouts in the matchups where they matter. But even if we lose it, we still have ways to win. So we can't really like, you know, afford to like bog down our deck, because if we play too many bricks, like, this deck won't really function. So we play one each of these, and then we play one, and also these have a primary effect. So this one increases the attack of a level 5 or higher monster, so it can be activated in damage steps, so this can kind of be good. And this one adds back a banished Mekk-Knight, so a lot of times I will banish like a Mekk-Knight I need, like Gearsu, off of this if I have the access to this card, so I can just add it back. So this card can actually be really useful. Like, both of these have uses outside of just being like Imperial Order and Royal Decree, right? And then the other one, War Legacy Succession. This is a strictly worse monster reborn. It can revive a monster only in your grave and only to a Zone of Link monster points to. So you may be asking, D, why are we playing World Legacy Succession but not playing Monster Reborn? And the reason is because this card is searchable, so we can search for any of the World Legacy cards, and also with this we're going to be discarding World Legacy cards that we don't need. So because it is there simply because it says World Legacy Succession, it's kind of like, it has toolbox uses. It's a pretty good card. It does brick sometimes, but that's why we're only playing one of it. Hopefully so we don't break. And then we got 3 World Legacy Memory. This is our main searcher. It just pulls a Mekk-Knight right out of our deck. It locks us into Mekk-Knights for the rest of the turn, so a lot of time if we have this set, I try and use it during the opponent's end phase, because I can opponent's end phase bring out purple, and then use the purple effect to banish itself to search another Mekk-Knight. So we've added a Mekk-Knight to our hand, and then when our turn starts in the standby phase, purple comes back. So we've just got +2 off of one spell, and we're no longer locked into Mekk-Knights. So that's kind of strategy behind it. So that's it for like the Mekk-Knight engine. Basically the way it works is we're going second, we're picking apart their board with the Mekk-Knights, then we're going into the Link monsters, we're searching the traps, and then we pass turn to them after we've searched our floodgates, and they're basically locked down. So you'll see how gameplay works once I start getting into these matches. And then now for just like the rest of the cards, the rest of the utility cards, hand traps. I like to play 5 hand traps in Mekk-Knights, right? 41 cards, 5 hand traps is just what works for me. Now, the 5 hand traps, I've been changing these up. I've been switching them around. So 2 Maxi, I really like 2 Maxi. I could even do 3 Maxi. For a while I was doing 3 Maxi and 2 Effect Veiler. And then I went to 2 Maxi, 2 Veiler, 1 Ash, which I really liked for a while. But now that I'm just kind of like in the lower Platinum area, and I'm just trying to get through it, all I'm running into is like Drytron and Eldritch. So I've actually dropped the Veilers for DD Crow, because Veiler does actually very little to stop Drytron when it's going full combo. Sure, if my opponent's not very smart, like 1 Veiler can end their turn, but Drytron usually can play through a Veiler. So I play DD Crow, because if you hit a Drytron name out of their grave, or if you hit the ritual spell, a lot of times that just like ends their turn. And then DD Crow can also be good to hit the Eldritch Golden Lord out of the grave, and then you don't have to like deal with it anymore. Especially if if you're playing against Eldritch, it just becomes like how far can you like outgrind them? Which I have some cool replays to show you guys, and also we might today on stream go into like some Eldritch duels, so you can see how this deck plays against Eldritch. Yeah, this DD Crow is just kind of utility. When the meta changes, I'll probably change these hand traps up. Right now, I like the 2 Crow, 2 C, 1 Ash. I would like to play 2 Ash, just so I'm playing like 2/2/2 of all the hand traps, because Ash is very useful. But I don't know if I want to play more than 5 hand traps right now. So the 5 hand traps I play in this deck are the one thing that changes all the time. Pretty much everything else in the deck has stayed the same. I've been playing this deck pretty much since Master Duel came out. This is the second deck that I put together after Shadal. So I've been playing it a lot, and I really like playing these 41 cards. The 41 cards pretty much have not changed. What has changed is which 5 hand traps I've chosen to play. So there's that. We're playing 2 Kaijus. Kaijus are just really important. We're almost always going second, and our philosophy is more just let them go first, let them do their full combo, and then we're going to break their board. So 2 Kaijus, really, really good. And then we're playing 3 Droplets. This can also be Dark Ruler No More. If you have Dark Ruler No More, don't bother like crafting Droplets, just play Dark Ruler. I would say play whichever one you have. I haven't crafted Dark Ruler at the moment, so I'm just playing the Droplets. I think that Um, there's pros and cons to each. You do have to lose cards in order to use the droplet, but you can use droplet during damage step, which can actually be really valuable, because like if you're playing against Eldritch and like you're under skill drain and it just becomes like, and you have crows, you have all sorts of things, like being just a well-used damage step droplet can actually swing the game in your favor. So I think droplet has like just a lot more utility, other than just being like a board breaker, but it's there to be a board breaker. Like if you open droplet and they open Drytron full combo, honestly, like I don't even care. Like droplet breaks so many boards. Droplet is so strong. So we're playing 3 droplet. We're playing 1 evenly. I think when I first started this deck, I was playing like 3 evenly, but I like it at 1. If I wanted to really go to 40 cards, if I was going to take out anything, I'd probably take out evenly. But evenly is just so good. It's so good going second. It can be just such a big blowout. And then if it's not usable, like you can just set it and then go into the Mekk-Knight and then start baiting. The reason I cut out 2 of my evenlies was mainly because I wanted to use a lot of the like battle phase shenanigans. Because a lot of times if you summon Mekk-Knights and then start going into battle phase, you can just start baiting all of their things. They're going to start using their negates, their interruptions. They're going to start bouncing your monsters, which you don't really care about, you know? Like, if you're summoning Mekk-Knights and they're ashing them and they're just, like, stopping all your plays, then you're like, okay, cool. Now you've wasted all your stuff here, so that now I can do what I'm really trying to do, which is, like, normal summon Gear Suit, you know? Oh, I didn't talk about this card, World Legacy World Chalice. This is your follow-up. This is the only, like, true brick that you put. What's up, Burn Hot Pocket? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Yeah, so this is the only true brick that we played in the deck. We don't want to draw this. This is the one card of 41 cards that we never want to draw. If we do draw it, we can still discard it with the Morningstar effect, because we can discard a World Legacy to add a card from our deck to our hand. So if we do draw this, we try and make the Morningstar to discard it. But this card, when it's in the grave, we're playing, just to be clear, we're playing this because the Gearsu Orcus Mekk-Knight sends a World Legacy card from deck to grave. So when we summon Gearsu, we send this from deck to grave. And the thing with the World Legacy is, the turn after it's sent to grave, you can banish it to add any World Legacy spell or trap to your hand. So on your first turn, you send this to the grave, and then the next turn, after they've tried to play through all your floodgates, we banish this, and then we get the follow-up of any of our spells. So it can be Key, it can be Whispers, it can be Succession, it can be Memory, it can be Secrets. Whatever we need, it's there. So this is such a powerful card. It's like, you hate to draw it, but it's 1 in 41 cards. Hopefully we don't. If we do draw it, it's not the end of the world, but it's too good not to play. It's too powerful not to play, and because we play so few bricks, like, I guess you could maybe consider these bricks, depending on the situation. So, like, the worst hand you could possibly draw is like this, and this. But I've yet to draw a hand that bad. But even then, if we draw, like, Prosperity, we just need, like, one piece, whether it's, like, Memory or Purple Nightfall or Blue Sky, to start getting into the engine so the deck can start going. Okay. And then that's it for the main deck. Extra deck. These are just to hard punish Dogmatic and Maximus. These 3 cards can really be anything. Like, if you have URs, you could play Crusadia Avromax, you can play the Mekk-Knight Spectrum Supreme, you can play other things. But these 3 cards, I just like hard punishing Maximus, sending a Cyber Dragon Nova to summon a Mechaba, and then sending the Skull Knight, and then being able to pop something next turn. That's just, like, fun. These 3 cards, the reason they don't matter is because these are Prosperity targets. We're almost always using Prosperity to banish 3 cards, so we're banishing these 3. Unless we're against Invoked, then I'll banish something else. Clara Rushka, the Ventrilla duo. This should be Salamangreat Almirage. I just don't have one because it's a UR. So play Salamangreat Almirage because it's very good. Like, you can normal summon a hand trap. Like, if you brick and you just, like, let's say you just have Crow and Crow's not useful, you can normal summon Crow and then link one, and then give yourself a column if you're going first, and then summon. It's like it's kind of a worst case scenario thing. This card is actually kind of bad going first because it has to be summoned in main phase 2. So it's not. This is only helpful in the situation where your opponent puts nothing on the board and then passes to you. That's when we go into the Ventrilla duo. But you know, this could also be Link Spider. We could play Link Spider because if we want to go into Galatea off of just the Girsu, the Galatea requires 2 effect monsters, and the token that this summons is normal. So then the token can become the Link Spider, and then we can link it to Galatea. But we aren't really playing Crescendo, so I didn't think the Link Spider came up too much. The Link Spider can also be good if they give you a Nibiru token, but at least in my experience, when I'm given a Nibiru token, I just try and figure out, oh, how can I best attack with this token? So this could be Link Spider, but honestly, the best thing is Owl Mirage. That is the card you should be playing, but unfortunately, it is an ultra rare. So I'll probably get it soon. Currently, I at least since Master Duel has come out, I've been completely like free to play completely with this game. So all the decks I have made like only just of like grinding and not spending any money. But I was thinking about putting some money into the game soon, maybe. I'm still not sure, but I would probably get things like Owl Mirage and Link Karibo. Like Link Karibo is also an ultra rare. Basically, a lot of stuff I'm missing is just like Link monsters that like don't really do anything, like Owl Mirage, that are ultra rares. It's like I've only been crafting monsters that are like good, like Zeus or whatever. But yeah, so for pure it doesn't come up often enough. So for pure utility purposes, we're playing Clara Rushka. When I want to build new decks, I'm gonna make a new account. That's the way to do it. Honestly, if you want to build new decks, just make a brand new account. And then they'll give you a bunch of stuff at the beginning. That's honestly like it's the best way to do it. Yeah, definitely don't waste your hard-earned cash. So we're playing 3 Mekk-Knight Morningstar and then 3 Lib. These honestly, this is the only part of the extra deck that actually matters. You know, the rest of the cards we can banish for prosperity. It doesn't matter. Like we need 3 of each of these, and the reason is it's just so the deck can like grind, right? So Mekk-Knight and Morningstar, it can search any World Legacy card by discarding a Mekk-Knight and a World Legacy or a World Legacy when it's summoned. Pretty good effect. It's not always, doesn't always come up because you don't always have something in hand, but like if you draw the brick, then you can discard it to search something good, which is very useful. But it also basically protects all of your Mekk-Knights from any battle damage, as long as they're being attacked from something not in the same column as it. So it kind of puts the opponent in a weird situation where, like, if they summon a monster in the same column as a Mekk-Knight, their effects are going to be negated. But if they summon in a different column than a Mekk-Knight, then they can't do any battle damage or destroy any of your monsters by battle. So this card is really, really good. And then you have Lib, which Lib can set a World Legacy spell or trap directly from your deck. So this is your main searcher. And then when it's used for a Link Summon, shuffle a card from their side into the deck without targeting. So you just have the best removal of anything, right? So anything they have anywhere on the field, just shuffle into their deck. And it doesn't target, right? So they can't even, like, think about if they want to respond after you've it just goes into their deck. Like, it's amazing. So a lot of time we link it to World Key Blade Master, set a World Legacy card, then link into the Morningstar, discard, search again, and then shuffle something into the deck. So we just like go like +2 off of a Link Summon. Well, maybe not +2 because we lose a monster in the Link Summon, but like Link Summon, we just get so much value out of it. Then, because Girsu, the Orcust Mekk-Knight, is a Mekk-Knight and also an Orcust, we play like a small Orcust package. This, like, honestly, it's most of the time we're linking into Lib and Mekk-Knight, so this it's okay. You can banish out Prosperity, but Galatea, I'm mostly going to Galatea if I have a specific machine banished, aka gear suit. Like, if I have a combo where like I Gearsu and something else go into Galatea, and then I like use one of these to banish the Gearsu so that I can put the Gearsu back in my deck. That's mainly what I use out of the Galatea, but then the Galatea can also go into Ding Gearsu to remove something on the field, and then if I go into battle phase, I can then go into Zeus. So it's kind of like a 3-step package where like the Galatea goes into Ding to go into Zeus. Also keep in mind, these are level 8s, these are level 8s, and that's it. Those are the only level 8s. So if you have Purple Nightfall and Indigo Eclipse, you can also link it to Ding. Yeah, I mean X-Season to Ding, which is good. And then you can remove something, then battle phase, then go into Zeus. So there are multiple ways to get into Zeus, but like, yeah. So this is like the Orcust package. It's okay. It's pretty good. I tried playing like a bigger Orcust package in this deck. Like playing an Orcust version of the deck where we play Harp Horror, we play the Symbols, we play the Orcust Nightmare, we play the Otherworld Legacy thing. But honestly, it just kind of adds a lot of bricks in the deck for not too much value because Galatea is limited to 1 here, right? And so with only 1 Galatea, like, Orcust Crescendo becomes more dead. And it just adds a lot of bricks and inconsistencies to the deck. So I prefer the small Orcust package relegated to the extra deck that can also be banished off Prosperity, because ultimately what matters in the extra deck, it's the 3 Morningstar and the 3 Lib, right? Last 2 cards, Transcode Talker and Access Code Talker. If I was playing Veilers, then maybe Selene could be better than Transcode Talker. Thing with Transcode Talker is you can only... So, Lib is a Cyburst, so if you haven't special summoned another monster this turn and you link into Transcode Talker, this can special summon a Lib from the extra, and then from the graveyard, I mean. And then you can use the Lib effect to set something. And then you can link it to Access Code, and then you get the Lib effect to get the non-targeting shuffle. And then you can just Access Code, pop 2, and then you're at 5,300, and then attack for game, and just win. So, Transcode Talker just enables Access Code like a little bit more, which is really good. And yeah, that's it for the extra deck. The last card is Access Code Talker. This card needs no explanation. This is like extreme linkable Dark Arm Dragon. This is like the best card. Anyway, yeah, that's the deck. I call it Bionicle because, you know, when you get all 6 of the like color mechs together, they're only powerful when they're united. You know, they don't do anything alone. You know, we got the purple one, the blue one, the indigo one, red, yellow, green. Like, honestly, those are the Bionicle colors they should add.